Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Satoshi Nakamoto, bitcoin.org. Abstract, a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. Digital signatures provide only part of the solution, but the main benefits are lost if a trusted third party is still required to prevent double spending. We propose a solution to the double spending problem using a peer-to-peer network. The network timestamps transactions by hashing them into an ongoing chain of hash-based proof of work, forming a record that cannot be changed without redoing the proof of work. The longest chain not only serves as proof of the sequence of events witnessed, but proof that it came from the largest pool of CPU power. As long as a majority of CPU power is controlled by nodes that are not cooperating to attack the network, they'll generate the longest chain and outpace attackers. The network itself requires minimal structure. Messages are broadcast on a best effort basis, and nodes can leave and rejoin the network at will, accepting the longest proof of work chain as proof of what happened while they were gone. Happy birthday, Bitcoin! Today's Thursday, January 3rd, 2019, the 10th anniversary of the launch of the Bitcoin main network and the software. The price of Bitcoin is down 3.4% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 3,797, a high of 3,770, 3,972, a low of 3,791. That's $1 for 26,166 Satoshis, heading the wrong direction. We're here celebrating Bitcoin's 10th birthday. Check out this great art by Luis Bonaventura from CryptoPop.net. Check it out on Twitter at CryptoPop. We've got some videos to play for you. We've got some news articles. We've got it all and more. And we're joined by Max Hillebrand. How's it going, Max?
Hey.
Oh, we cut to
what's
Max.
up?
Go ahead,
It's been
Max.
a phenomenal ride. 2018 was intense, but the last 10 years were even intenser. Can you say that? It's been a hell of a ride. We've built quite a bit since this Genesis block was published exactly 10 years ago, 556,000 blocks ago. So quite a couple blocks that we find in the meantime. But we built a bunch of cool stuff, and I'm happy here on the ride celebrating this great holiday.
And Max is showing right there the Genesis block itself with the Times 03 January 2009 Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks. The headline of the Times, we can show you right here the headline of the Times today. They've added to the bottom of their webpage, at least thanks to BitMEX. There's an advertisement on the bottom of the Times today, 3 January 2019. It says, "Thanks, Satoshi. We owe you one. Happy 10th birthday, Bitcoin." And it's right there on the bottom of the page. You can see it on the Twitter feed there. Maybe we'll zoom in.
And I think that is just fantastic on so many levels, because first of all, they didn't ask for permission. They just did it, which is fantastic. Of course, it's their own logo under there, of course, but it's just a nice move in general, I would say. And then the cool thing is that they now have, they actually have put there a good bunch of advertising, several pages full of Bitcoin, no bullshit, real truth. They really laid out why this is important. And the technical novelty, but also the economic reason behind all this. And absolutely fantastic work. The BitMEX group for doing this, because it's actually really valuable stuff to read. There are a couple pictures online. Just go out there and read it, what they've put out there on the following pages. It is really cool, and they really go into depth on the implications of such a free market currency. So a beautiful example of how the Bitcoin thing evolves and how it represents itself in also public space. So that's cool.
And this is our 10th anniversary show about Bitcoin, but it's not just about Bit. Whoa, Max, the audio is really being wild today. We're getting totally breaker kind of crazy sounds over there. Previously, Max's camera dropped out. Maybe they're having some kind of electric interference going on in Germany today. Not sure what's going on, so let's hold on to that. But what I was just about to say is it's not just about Bitcoin or about the price, it's about you. So we want to say hello to everybody in the chat. How has Bitcoin changed your life? How has it made your life better? How has it made your life worse? How do you think Bitcoin is going to make your life better in the future? Tell us about Bitcoin. Help us celebrate the 10th anniversary of Bitcoin right here in the chat. Give us a thumbs up and a share. Feel free to copy and paste this link anywhere: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the places, Instagram, whatever it is. Tell people we're here talking about Bitcoin live and having a good time doing it. As promised, while Max probably works on his audio, we are going to play some videos. We've got an incredible set of videos for you today. Let's first get the graphic up here from Box Mining. Check out this earlier this morning at Box Mining teased. He said, upcoming video. Find out if your favorite crypto devotee can sing. To celebrate the new year and Bitcoin's 10th anniversary, this group of crypto devotees joined their voices to a million dreams. And he's got a graphic there featuring maybe some people you recognize right there. Obviously, Samson Mao in the corner, Jimmy Song up here, Naomi Brockwell. What's that guy? Fluffy Pony. Heard of that guy? And of course, Box Mining here with an amazing mustache, looking great. And what's this little guy down here? Looks like Mad Bitcoins. So find out if I can sing. Pretty much the answer is no. But I don't think I'm the worst of the bunch. A lot of crypto people came together to make this incredible happy birthday Bitcoin video. We're going to play it right now. This is from the Box Mining channel. Check him out. Thanks to Samson Mao and Miss Bitcoin Mai for spearheading this and for allowing me to be a part of it. It was pretty fun. It was pretty difficult. I don't think I'm the worst, but I'm certainly not the best. And yeah, thanks for putting me right after Tatiana Moroz, the professional singer. So give us a thumbs up and a share. Let us know how Bitcoin's changed your life. We're just going to play this video right now. Hopefully not lose our copyright. This is fair use. We're going to discuss it. And here it is, A Million Dreams from the movie that I haven't seen, The Greatest Showman, something like that.
I close my eyes and I can see the world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own.
Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I lost my mind.
I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design.
'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams that keep me awake.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see.
A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled with things from far away.
Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care, they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we desire.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it now. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me awake.
A million dreams.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, dear Bitcoin. Happy birthday to you.
yay! Happy birthday, Bitcoin. That was a fun video. Look at all the outtakes. Look like there's some other people who weren't included, but we want to recognize them here in the outtakes. Again, shout out to Samson Mao and Miss Bitcoin Mai for putting this all together. Obviously very difficult. They did a good job. I had to redo mine several times to try to get the timing right, and even then the notes weren't quite right, but still fun to be involved, fun to have some singing, have a little art for Bitcoin. A lot of people obviously went to great trouble shooting in exotic locations, so shout out, very cool stuff to see some outdoor shots, to see some cinematic work there.
And there's the Bitcoin flag in the background of Dan's video here in the
There
out.
it is, the Bitcoin flag. Yep, we shot part of that in Malta. We also have, if we run out of time, or maybe if we hit our donation goal here, I do have an entire version of myself singing the whole song. It's cringeworthy and terrible, but maybe if we hit our donation goal, I'll play it. But I'd rather not. So, but check that out. Very cool video. That's Happy Birthday Bitcoin, a million dreams celebration video over on the Box Mining channel. Good stuff from Box Mining and from Samson Mao. We've got another song for you here on the top 40. We're keeping them coming at you. Here it is with number 2. Crypto Knight 420 writes, he says, "Hey Dave, I know this is kind of late notice, but is there a way to get my new video about Genesis Block Day on WCN or your show today? It hasn't been on Reddit yet, so it could be some kind of world debut. Thanks in advance, Crypto Knight." And here it is for Crypto Knight. We've got Genesis Block, the video, coming at you at number 2, right coming up.
Genesis block. That's when Satoshi mined the first block. Before then, we had no way to trust what's online. Man, Satoshi came just in time. January 3rd, 2009. That's when the first block was mine. We were all dead slaves to the financial elite. Bitcoin came just in time. Central bankers with inflation gains. We had no way to fight back. The Genesis block came along then. Now it's us who find ourselves on the attack. Genesis block. That's when Bitcoin was born. On this was down the whole block, just starting with it. Thanks to Satoshi Block.
We'd like to thank Satoshi for Bitcoin. It's been an amazing 10 years from the Genesis block on upward, and it's going to be in another amazing 10 more. Oh, gosh.
Genesis.
I really didn't make it this far into it to see that he had the Chipmunks. Also, did you see that he just had a Sega Genesis and the Star Trek Genesis on his screen?
That wordplay.
January 3rd, 2009. That's when the first one was mine. We were all dead slaves to the financial elite. Bitcoin came just in time.
100 years of fame.
Like all the parachutes, we had no way to fight back. The Genesis block came along then. Now it's us who find ourselves on the attack. Genesis block.
Oh, great. He's got Genesis the band, Terminator Genesis in there. Great visual images going on here.
Let's get Bitcoin. Thank you, Satoshi. Thanks for the Genesis. Thank the Genesis block.
And there it is. Crypto night with Bitcoin Genesis block. World premiere of sorts right here on the World Crypto Network. Thanks, Crypto Night, for sending that in. There's also there's me singing the song. Here's Jimmy yelling and fighting, but we'll come to that later. I'd rather talk about other things first, see what's going on in Bitcoin, see how Bitcoin changed your life. Tell me in the chat, not just I made $10 or I lost $10 or something like that, but how has Bitcoin actually improved your life? Do you think it'll change the world? Are you on board for another 10 years of doing this Bitcoin thing? People like the video. They say the Sega was a nice touch. Genesis block, funny stuff. They say, yeah, there is a lot of yelling going on in the crypto YouTube chats, but this is a more laid back, celebratory chat. We don't have to yell and fight, even if it's about Litecoin or whatever it is. Max, are you back with us? We had audio troubles, video troubles. What'd you think of the videos, Max? Let's get your response.
Oh, isn't that fantastic? Right? You really get to experience the art of Bitcoin, which I think is a truly fascinating subject, because right under sound money, you actually have the opportunity of building fantastic art. And I think that this little jingle was a nice example of that. It was actually really catchy. It had a good message, first and foremost, right? It was, again, like a true Bitcoin piece, actually telling the story of why this is so important. And that is truly important, right? To bring not just the fun and the magic internet money, but the true theory and telling of why we are doing this, why we are engaging here in this struggle for sound money. And Bitcoin is a fantastic tool in that regard. So this jingle, fantastic. And always nice to wrap this up in a little fun.
Well, and I just seen recently about crypto art and coin artists. I can't seem to find the article right now. I'm searching. But coin artists made all those puzzles and the Bitcoin puzzles. And it's interesting to see how that started to take off. Forbes and other people are starting to write about these incredible puzzles that had cryptographic keys and such hidden inside. And how that's another great way to share Bitcoin, is that Bitcoin can be embedded in a puzzle. As Andreas is fond of saying, it can be hidden inside a cat picture. You can take it apart. You can, you can send it and hide it. You can put it in a private key or hide it in a geocache or a Trezor or a ledger. There's so many fun ways to send Bitcoin around, and it really is more useful than traditional money. And when something's more useful, it's more likely to be used as money. as far as Litecoin or any of the other arguments for other currencies. Pretty much if we put all of our strength behind one currency, we have a better chance of being more successful. Let's look at what's going on now. We want to open up the phone lines. If you'd like to call us now, you can call us on Skype at World Crypto Network, all one word, or at 518-600-1949. That's in the one country code for America, because we are number one. So you can give us a call now. We've got the phone lines open. Tell us how Bitcoin's changed your life. Tell us what you see happening next year in crypto. Do you have any good memories from the last year? Any bad memories? Call us now. Tell us about your thoughts of Bitcoin in the new year. This is Bitcoin Talk Show. We're checking out Max's Tallycoin. How's it going there, Max? Let's see. Tallycoin's grown up quite a lot. What kind of new features do you have there at Tallycoin?
Oh well, Tallycoin it's fantastic, truly, man. This is a creature of the World Crypto Network. Here, premiering with one of your fundraisers, Thomas, which you can easily also find here, right, on Tally.
Losing Max's audio
slash Bitcoins, and right, this was one of the first fundraisers here, which was fantastic. But Tallycoin has grown a lot since. It truly has. And for example, there is Lightning Network integration now, which is truly amazing. So you can simply send me a tip here, and let's say 10 cents. Come on, can we get 10 cents in Lightning? That would be fantastic. So here, 2,613 satoshis. That's quite a many satoshis. You can send that here now to this Tallycoin QR code. And give a little tip. So that's what's happening in Tallycoin already. Also got early access and super chats and what have you not. Everything running only with Bitcoin, only with Lightning, or well, Bitcoin on-chain and off-chain payments in that sense. But it truly is beautiful. So let's see if we can get the 2,613 satoshis here to this Tallycoin Lightning address.
And I was going to see how to turn Lightning on my fundraiser, but I don't know how to do that right now. I don't want to do it live. But we do have all the fundraisers. It's got a list of your fundraisers. It looks like I'm most successful when I raise small amounts of money. I successfully raised around $60 for Spider-Man at one point. That was pretty cool. And
78%. That's cool.
Well, I think it was full at one point. I think we've had Bitcoin go down since then. Should have cashed that one out. Our fundraiser to raise $1 million, we raised $314. Fell a little short. At one point, that was $500, so that was pretty cool. I think this one was over 300 at one point as well. So it's good, but we've got to sell more. But looking at this one here, we are still fundraising right here on Tallycoin. You can donate with this QR code, even with the Mad Bitcoins guy inside there. We've had 30 donations on Tallycoin. We want to thank our latest donor, 0.00390,195. You can send us $10, $5. Try out Tallycoin right here. Go ahead and pause the screen right now as Max was showing us Tallycoin. We also want to recognize Bitcoin Magazine for their excellent article, 7 New Year's Resolutions for Bitcoiners, and for their desire to return to Bitcoin and to start only covering Bitcoin again, which they never should have stopped. But they've got a great article, 7 New Year's Resolutions. The first one I really like: tell 5 people about Bitcoin and help them set up a wallet. This is definitely the way to go. I'd even say, like it says at the bottom, send them a few Satoshis to get them started. It's super fun to send around Bitcoin, get people to try it out. And you can do that yourself. It doesn't cost anything. It could only cost a few dollars if you want to send them $1 or $2. That'd be sweet.
Oh yes, absolutely, right. Teach this truth. Teach this the theory and the application of Bitcoin. That is very powerful, right? That is the great work. And I would enlighten that further to teach about Lightning Network. Maybe help them with to set up their first mobile wallet. Send them a couple Satoshis on chain to, for example, the SAP wallet or the Flare wallet. And then simply open a payment channel for them. And then they can go and try out the Lightning channel or Lightning Network and experience the truly instant and cheap Bitcoin transactions used for everyday purchases, right? Lightning Network is here. It's super, super useful. And you can use this to to help the network grow and to teach people about this. And Lightning Network truly is phenomenal. As I said, for example, here with this Lightning donation address here. It's super convenient, super simple, bunch of apps out there already. So don't just teach about the economics, the theory, the philosophy, the reason why Bitcoin. Also teach them how to do the application in real life, both, of course, on-chain and off-chain payments, because both are here.
And that really is the theme of this new year, Max. The theme is education. We need to educate people about the Lightning Network. We need to educate people about Bitcoin, educate people about sound money, and educate people about how they can get involved. It's not just about yelling or fighting or debating. Sure, we have a lot of differences. Sure, there are a lot of altcoins and ICOs and other things. But really, for Bitcoiners, what we need to focus on is education. There's no one out there paid to market Bitcoin, even though they're trying to set up organizations like the B Foundation, and there's other people who can somehow manage to get paid, and maybe they take affiliate fees or some kind of advertising or whatever it is. People all got to figure out a way to get paid. But in the final analysis, when you really think about it, there's no Bitcoin the company. Somebody was saying yesterday, they called in, they wanted to say, why can't Bitcoin Core work better with the other currencies? Why can't Dash and Bitcoin Core market together, and so on and so forth? And the truth is, Dash has a little company. Dash has a little mining money or a little marketing money from the mining or from their rewards. Bitcoin doesn't. Bitcoin doesn't have a marketing agency. Bitcoin doesn't have a company or a centralized institution. That's why it's even so amazing that Bitcoin has survived these 10 years. Really, we're talking about a software project. Dan said yesterday that Bitcoin was not 10 years old, that it was not old software, that it was 10 years evolved, that this is something that we've watched grow and get better. And when it started, it had bugs and it had problems, and they fixed them, and it's gotten better and better and better. And that's what we need to do in the new year with education. We need to educate more people. We need to turn on more Bitcoiners. Start small. Don't start with everything. Don't bombard them with, have you heard about sound money? You've got to get Bitcoin. Install this on your phone now. Start smaller. So be like, hey, you want to try out this little computer program? I can send you $1. It's fun. Maybe if you're a little well off, you could say, hey, I'll send you $10, something like that. They can watch it, and their $10 becomes 11, or their $11 becomes $9 or $7 or $6 or 12 or 15, whatever happens. It's not about the value of the Bitcoin. It's that you can send value over a network not controlled by a government, a corporation, or a bank. And, something like in a Fight Club where he says, Fight Club is free. And, well, ain't that something? And he says, it is actually. It is actually.
Oh yeah, yes, and it's a skill to tell a story that is conveying without being too forceful, right? You could yell and scream at them and try them to understand your point, but that is most often not a reasonable approach to take to a conversation. You don't want them to learn; you want both to grow. And this means that you have to be much more persuasive in your speech and not start yelling randomly all the stuff at once.
Well, and if we're going to talk about yelling, maybe we should play just a little bit of the yelling from the other channel. This is over from the Tone Vase channel. This is Jimmy's song and someone named Jason, and they're going to fight for our pleasure right here for about 30 seconds. Then we're going to comment on this. This is fair use of 30 seconds for news purposes and analysis. Here you go.
Jason, you're making it sound like we're forcing everybody to use Bitcoin. We're just saying the economic incentives are such.
No. What I'm saying is, when you get on stage or you go on the air and all you do all the time is tell people that Bitcoin is the only coin that should succeed. You don't think
that it will succeed, not it should. It's not.
No. But by you saying it will succeed, you're trying to be a market shaper.
You keep strawmanning. I don't like.
I mean,
this.
I don't even think you know what that word means.
Oh, thanks for the insult there. Yeah, yeah. You keep twisting our arguments and denying those instead of actually saying what we are saying.
What are you saying? Tell me what you're saying about Litecoin. Tell me right now, in 30 seconds or less. Can you do that in 30 seconds?
I'm not gonna go through your restrictions or whatever. If I want to speak for more than 30 seconds, that's my prerogative.
No. What I'm saying is you can consolidate your argument instead of running all over
and then pushing them around and then denying those and saying, "Oh, you're saying that everyone is forced to use Bitcoin." Oh, I think that's stupid.
By the way, that's not called a straw man. That's called a paper. That's a
whatever you're doing is very much against the spirit of honest debate. And I don't like debating people that are twisting arguments. And
Jimmy, I watched you debate Roger Ver, and you were a complete ass.
No, well, I mean, you're just like you're being right now. Yeah, thanks.
Well, listen, I came on here at Tone's invitation in order to discuss this. We were asked a question why Litecoin should exist or not. You guys instantly started saying that it's not valid, that there's only one.
You're twisting things again.
I said,
why Litecoin going to win?
I said the reason that Litecoin and
So I really do think we have a choice ahead of us. We have a choice ahead of us about Bitcoin. We have a choice ahead of us about broadcasting. We have a choice ahead of us about who we watch and how we watch it, what we learn. And it seems like in a lot of ways, we're just going to recreate the old system. We have an old system of yelling, talking heads, people with their own interests, people who put themselves first, people who only care about themselves, who aren't really getting into the larger purposes here or the larger interconnectivity between all people and the connectivity between all things that we see when we study networks, when we network and we study Bitcoin, when we build things like the internet. Things like that. So we have to decide. We have to decide. And this is something that the internet does without us even choosing. Things like the Kardashians, things like the rise of the gossip websites and the gossip newscasts and things like that. There's this old video called Epic, and it was called Epic 2014, and it came out maybe in 2005 or 2008 or something, when we still used to think about the future and say 2020 is a long time away. I wonder what it'll be like. It'll be like Back to the Future, and we'll have flying cars and the Jetsons and so on. But we watched this Epic video, and Epic says that on one side, the internet can be the greatest and the best thing that we've ever had. It can provide you scientific truth. It can provide you philosophic debate. It can fill your heart and inspire you with other cultures and the ability to transmit information around the world instantly, everywhere. You know, I sound a little bit like Jim Carrey and the Cable Guy, but he was right too. And this Epic video says, but on the other side, the internet could be the worst thing that we've had. It could provide you with a kind of seamless, endless gossip that just fills up your day and never informs you, never edifies you, never elevates you to a higher level, or even thinks that you could. Never even the idea that we could aspire, or that we could improve, or that we could be more than ourselves. Or maybe we're just, you know, bad people or bad things or whatever, living out a bad life. I think we have a choice. We have to choose what we want. If we want to watch talking heads yell at each other, if we want to have a currency like Bitcoin, if we want to have a currency controlled by other people, if we want to have a currency that was pre-mined, if we want to have a currency that rewards its founders, if we want to have a currency that has a complicated structure, trading one token for another token for another token for another token, and so on and so forth, we have a decision to make. There's one coin that has a truly anonymous founder. There's one coin where the founder left billions of dollars on the line, and he didn't take it, and he didn't take it for his ego, and he didn't take it for himself. There's one coin, not one coin, but there's only one coin that came out first with a white paper, then with software, and really wowed and impressed everyone. Where did this come from? Is it real? It wowed and impressed people so much that it's practically religious when I say, I rejected Bitcoin when I first saw it. Other people certainly rejected Bitcoin. I talked to my friends. They rejected Bitcoin. Even the people who did accept Bitcoin were trading it around as if it were worth pennies because it was. They weren't saving and holding and hoarding and all these kind of ideas. The miners were mining Bitcoin, selling it to get energy, and mining to mine Bitcoin, making very small percentages on the top. In reality, they could have just put all that mining money into buying Bitcoin and held it and made much more money. But what they did when they built those mining machines is not just try to make money with their computers, which was really amazing, right? You could, I've played lots of computer games and so on and so forth. I've left my computers on for days, gotten in trouble at the computer labs for mining too many machines on SETI at home, or the Boink computing contest where we used to calculate primes and things like that, but never gotten paid for it, right? These guys were getting paid, but they were just breaking even, but they were building a network. Just like all the people who built faucets. Gavin Andreessen talks about how he's given away, I don't know, something like 1,000 Bitcoins with his faucet. But remember, those Bitcoins were worth pennies when he started. I think the early faucets, you could get 1, maybe 5, maybe even 10 Bitcoins on a faucet. Of course, unfortunately, I was never early enough to use one of those faucets. But still, there is a Bitcoin out there. And you can try the other coins. And we've had a lot of great callers who tell us things like, yeah, I got into Bitcoin through a scam like BitConnect, or I got into Bitcoin through Litecoin or Ethereum, or maybe an ICO or some kind of Paris Hilton, Floyd Mayweather, The Rock ICO. I don't know, but you can get into Bitcoin from anywhere. But the more you study it, the more you get into it. And it's become cliche to say with the Andreas story and the rabbit hole and all that kind of thing. But it is kind of a rabbit hole. There is kind of a lot here and a lot going on. And it does seem unlikely that such a thing could accomplish all of the things that it claims. It's very unlikely that something could be as good as Bitcoin says it's going to be. So it's not a surprise that people reject it and go the other way. We have here a Bitcoin pin. This is an early Bitcoin pin from my friend Davi Barker and Bitcoin Not Bombs. It says, "Free the network, free the world." I don't know if you can see it right there. It's not very clear. It looks upside down to me too. But there it is. Free the market, free the world, Bitcoin pin. And this is the kind of things that people were making back in 2013, 2014. It's never going to focus right. But anyway, you can check that out somewhere on Bitcoin Not Bombs, something like that, maybe in the history of old Bitcoin. But this idea, free the market, free the world. And 10 years ago, it was a ridiculous idea. Even 6 years ago or so, when I got started, it was a ridiculous idea. All the bankers, all the smart people, all the finance people, they said that Bitcoin was no good. It was a Ponzi scheme. It was tulips. It was a bubble at $300 and $530 and $70. It was always a bubble. You're always some kind of a internet idiot person for wanting to be into that Bitcoin and wanting to use it. And then all of a sudden something changed, and now everyone's into Bitcoin. And all these people are making YouTubes, and all these finance people are telling you how great the blockchain is. And it's really just all come around something in these last 3 or 4 years. Looks like, Max, you got a Tallycoin donation. What's going on?
Oh no, you did. Just right now of 0.068 Bitcoin. That's quite many Satoshis. That's 6.8 million.
Max's microphone's still going in and out, but he was celebrating 6.8 million Satoshis. Looks like maybe around $250, $300. Thanks so much to donor 0.06865594. Thanks so much for donating. We've now reached the halfway point of the Send Mad Bitcoins Home fundraiser. And yes, people don't understand it, but I continue to stick with it. If you donate this amount, I'll be able to fly home from Malta, and I'll make a Mad Bitcoins video or two. Mad Bitcoins is stuck in Europe. We need to bring him home, which makes no sense because everyone's like, we all know that you're Mad Bitcoins, Peter Parker. And I'm like, no, Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Come on, don't tell anyone. It's a secret. It's a secret identity. It's a quizzer. You don't know. So thank you so much for your donation, mystery donor. Looks like Max has a video. Are you going to play us a video, Max?
Oh, it's just a little beautiful GIF that showcases the amazingness of the block header in Genesis block. The Times, January 3rd, 2009. Chancellor on the brink of second bailout. It's so slow. 4 banks. There we have it. A nice little video by 402 Payment Required. A great YouTube channel, by the way. And here you see the New York Times, or no, sorry, not the New York, the London, the Times, with the now infamous headline. Oh, did they know that we solved the solution for bailing out banks, and it's called hard money Bitcoin.
Very cool stuff from 402 Payment Required. Checking out the chat, Rolando Tech wishes he had mined Bitcoin instead of doing folding at home stuff. And sure, we all kind of wish that. I wish I'd played Quake professionally. But no one played Quake professionally back in those days. It wasn't a thing. Before the World of Warcraft, there was just Warcraft and Starcraft, other great games. It just wasn't available to us. It's a different time now, and it's a magical time. Max, did it work? Did we get any lightning payments? Is anyone being reckless out there with their 10 cents?
Not yet. Not yet. And here's also one of the little down draws of lightning payments, is that after a while they expire. You can put a expiry duration to your invoices. And this means now that in the recording, there are 3 different QR codes here. Because every time, I think after like 10 minutes or something, it is programmed to timeout. So this is something that you have to be truly reckless in the moment. Okay, you can't go watch back and recording and give the little donation here. You actually have to be in the here and now and lightning at 10 cents. That's 2,609 Satoshis. There you see Bitcoin went further. No, it went up a little bit. It was 2,613 Satoshis. And now you can give me less Bitcoin for the same fiat shitcoin amount. Isn't that fantastic?
That's very cool. And we have an update on yesterday's story. Proof of keys hit BTC. Let me blacklist this guy. There we go. Hit BTC dismisses allegations it froze accounts in response to proof of keys event. Of course they do. And naturally, they've rejected allegations that they were deliberately freezing user accounts. They said that it was not related to the proof of keys event. They say Trace Mayer had publicly suggested that Hit BTC may be deliberately disabling withdrawals in response to the event, subsequently joined by John McAfee and Tour de Meester. So once again, a great public relations move by Trace to claim success and claim that Hit BTC was freezing accounts, while it likely seems that they're not going to. They're also saying he described proof of keys as a flash mob. Yesterday, we referred to as a possible bank run, and not really a great idea, because we don't want to destroy the Bitcoin infrastructure just because we can. However, it is interesting to see how the proof of key celebration is growing. It's a nice positive idea if you do a reasonable amount of money. If you're a new person, maybe $100 proof of keys is a pretty good idea. But the idea that it's really going to test these exchanges, or that we should be testing these exchanges like this, I'm not so sure about. But congrats to Proof of Keys for what it's worth. Max, what do you think about Proof of Keys?
Well, I think that the theory itself is quite compelling because there are hats. NVK made some hats, which is nice. We always need hats in the meme war. CoinKite shop, and then in the meantime, though, it is also good to test if these exchanges actually do run a fractional reserve system, because that would be not optimal, because that would mean that we have some form of inflation that would not be good from an economic point of view. And the only thing that you can do for this to prevent this is to actually claim your financial base money, the cash that does not have any counterparty risk. And that is, of course, your private keys to defend your property rights in this currency called Bitcoin. So the idea of owning your own keys is the best defense that we have against fractional reserve. And it is quite easy to handle. I mean, you can have rather secure software wallets, like Armory, for example, or Electrum. Or then on the other hand, you can have some really secure hardware wallets like the Cold Card up here in the shop as well. So there are different tools that you can use to support you in your defense of your property rights. And you not necessarily have to do that, right? This just means that when you or when eventually you do not have the guts to do that, when you want to have others take that responsibility, you can, right? There are custodial services, and they are absolutely valid from time to time, right? And I would go further to say that in Lightning Network, custodial solutions are actually really, really useful. Especially because Lightning Network is not just controlling private keys, it's actually being online and storing several different layers of backups and channel state and what so on. So there are solutions out there, like then, for example, OpenNode, which I use for my Tallycoin. So where is it here? Nope. Okay, it's called OpenNode. It's a custodial Lightning solution, and you can easily start or accept Lightning payments with this custodial form, and you do not have to worry about channel balancing or inbound liquidity and all that fancy stuff. So it's really, really easy for you as a solution. So yes, custodial services might make sense, but if you want to defend your sovereignty, well, you have to use the tools.
And the real answer here is that eventually the exchanges... Here we go. We've got a phone call. Let's see what's going on the phone. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Thomas. This is Gabriel Vincent Moon from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hello, Gabriel. I recognize you from the chat. What's on your mind about Bitcoin today?
To the moon.
Well, happy birthday to Bitcoin, first of all. And yeah, I just wanted to comment on the, I guess it was on Tone Vay's channel with, shoot, I forget his name, the lawyer, and Jimmy Song. So I've seen something pretty similar to that. It was on Adam Meister's channel, Bitcoin Meister, and it was like Francis Pouillot and this other guy, Tai Zen. And I just think it becomes like a really bad look when people start acting like that, because people start, or like if you're just a random person who has like no interest in Bitcoin, like you don't hold any Bitcoin, and you start seeing people acting like that, it's just like something you're not gonna want to be involved in, you know?
It does seem like we've gotten to a really strident level of debate and a real serious level really quickly. To see things like this debate where Jimmy's kind of broken down to yelling, the Roger Ver boat debate where Jimmy walked out and then Tone debated him shirtless. We're kind of getting to the bottom of the barrel here with this debate idea. I don't think there's that much to be gained by bringing on someone that disagrees with you and then debating them violently. I've never been able to convince anyone of any new ideas that way. Whereas the other side, just kind of presenting your ideas, maybe letting the other person present the ideas, comparing and contrasting them, trying to get more out of it. I think that's a better level of discourse and something we can work towards. But it is quick and easy to do it this other way. And I think also we need to note popular. One of the things we've said here a lot is that other YouTubers have lapped us, right? The people who have the top 10 crypto coins to buy in 2019 and the how to make $1 million in 15 minutes with cryptocurrency, those videos are very popular. They're doing very well. So if you are looking for the lowest common denominator, it is out there. But I do think you have a choice. I hope you have a choice. Thanks to donors like the recent donor we just had and people who support us on Patreon. You do have a choice. You can support us financially, which allows us to keep going with shows like this that might be less popular than more sensational shows. But thanks for your opinion on this.
Really that is so true about the cryptocurrency shows or YouTube channels where they just talk about price. And for me personally, I don't find that very interesting at all. I'd rather talk about some of the more like philosophical side of Bitcoin, like why Bitcoin is even around in the first place. But I think that because you have so many of these cryptocurrencies that are just clones of Bitcoin, like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, you can't really argue their technical merits so much because it's all part of like the same open source project basically, and like all of these things can take from each other. So like with Bitcoin Cash, I never really saw a point to that because their argument was that a larger block size is better basically, but there's no reason that Bitcoin couldn't like ever increase its block size. Like obviously it can. So I think a lot of these arguments, it just gets into the weeds of like, oh, this is technically better than this, but it doesn't even really make sense to go down that line of thinking. I think it's more involved with like the communities behind the projects and like who the leaders are in that community almost.
I agree with that. I also saw a great tweet recently where the guy said, with crypto Twitter and when we're really involved in this, when we're too close, things like the XRP army seem really big. People talking about Litecoin, whatever it is, your favorite altcoin going off on Twitter seems like a really big deal. But when this guy went back and compared the Google trends, so the actual normal people, the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times, Bitcoin was 10 times bigger than Ethereum. It was 10 times bigger than EOS or Stellar or Litecoin or whatever you want to get into, 10 times. So if you really go out there to the normal people, what do they know? And maybe they don't know good things about it. Maybe they think it's drug money, or they think it's a scam or a bubble, or it's going to crash or whatever. But the people that they know about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the Kleenex, it's the Band-Aid, it's the brand name. And it's interesting to see people like Coinbase running away from this brand name, a brand name that they helped build. A lot of people now seem they'll do anything to not say Bitcoin and to not call the space Bitcoin. They call it crypto now. Crypto, as you know, can be used to encrypt messages. It's not cryptocurrency. It's not crypto coin. It's just crypto. So we'll see how long that lasts, especially when knowing out there that the public, they know about Bitcoin. They don't know about these other coins. They're bizarro. I could be making it up when I tell you about Ethereum. That's how much they know. So we are very early.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of just calling the cryptocurrencies crypto. It's like we can talk about cryptocurrency if you want, but what I'm really interested is, you know, like Bitcoin or specific cryptocurrencies. I'm not just going to talk about cryptocurrency as a whole because it doesn't actually even mean anything to me.
Yeah, it really
absolutely
doesn't.
Right. And the thing with Bitcoin is that it is so multifaceted, right? It is not just cryptography. It's not just the fancy mathematics. It's also the economics, the philosophy, right? The theory behind it, and of course the entire history. And saying something is just crypto because it was like in the name is kind of ridiculous. But well, you know, it's also it includes that, right? So we should not downplay the importance of something like encryption and hiding the stuff that you do not want to share. Right? This makes sense, and it makes it is a useful tool to use, right? So encrypt your messages. Use high quality messaging services that does that for you, or use something like Proton Mail for secure email communication. Right? Try solutions that are convenient and tools that help you to defend your sovereignty in all matters, not just your financial sovereignty with Bitcoin, also your information sovereignty with Tor browsing or secure messaging with PGP encryption. It makes absolutely it makes sense. Why would you not try to defend yourself? So clearly, yes. And maybe
yeah, I like even stuff like where you've used cryptography for encryption and things like PGP. Like it's not just for money. Like I feel like PGP is going to become more and more important I love like torrents. Those are still around. I don't think that for some reason it's not become like a widely used thing. So the longer I'm in Bitcoin, I don't know that will ever reach hyper Bitcoinization or that it'll completely overtake fiat currency, but I think it'll for sure be useful for so many things in the future.
I think so too. We just gotta wait. But thanks so much for the call, and thanks for sharing your views
Oh wait,
about
let me ask
Bitcoin.
you one more thing. What is up with Shem Booth? Why is he all about Bitcoin SV all of a sudden?
Well, I think that's a good question, and that's a question I'm gonna have to probably ask Shem himself.
Over here?
I'm probably gonna do an interview with Shem the same way I did an interview with Andy, and I was like, Andy, what's going on with this B rhodium thing? I just don't get why you're into it, you know? And it's coming, one of these like heart to heart things, and I'm just like, Andy, I'm trying to bring you back. I'm trying to bring you back to the Bitcoin, and I kind of would say the same thing to Shem. I'm like, what happened to you, man? You were a big Bitcoin warrior, and then you thought Bcash was kind of silly, and then they split off from Bcash with this Bitcoin SV, and now you're all into that. Not sure what's going on. So I know for Andy, the low amount of units in B rhodium, the scarcity was a big deal, and somehow that was going to make it valuable. I brought up examples like OneCoin, where there was only 1 unit, and 42 coin, where there was only 42 units, and that both of those died despite being very scarce. So I don't know about that. And then the SV thing, I know Shem's had a lot of fears for a while that there was going to be a wormhole coin, and they were going to provably burn Bitcoin and transfer it to the value from the Bitcoin to the other coin. And I was like, no, if you provably burn it, you just made less Bitcoin. You made, my Bitcoin more valuable. Thank you. And that kind of thing. So I don't know how he got from that to this whole Bitcoin SV with his giant blocks is going to be the solution. I know it's a simple idea, but just from a thought experiment, if you buy coffee every day, that's 300 coffees a year. Just saying, 300 coffees a year times, I don't know, a billion people, whatever's on the planet. We can't put that all in the blockchain. It's just not going to work. So no matter at what scale you're talking about, how big the nodes are, we can't do that on a single blockchain. I think it's going to take multiple layers. I don't even think that the Lightning Network will be the last, or that there won't be other ones or multiple layers on top of that. So I really don't see the simplistic argument, which I believe is the Bitcoin SV argument. I'd be open to people telling me otherwise. But yeah, I don't know what's happened to Shem. I do like the way he did just kind of one video here on the World Crypto Network where he kind of talked about his new ideas, and then he went off and like a lot of people seem to do these days, he started his own YouTube channel and has the Bitcoin SV channel. So if you want to check that out, it's out there. But yeah, I need to talk to Shem on the air. That would be a nice thing to do. So.
Yeah, right. And the thing with these forks is that is the anarchy in Bitcoin, right? If you want to walk away, well, walk away. If you want to fork the protocol, fork the protocol. There's nothing inherently wrong in that. And as a matter of fact, that is why we are in this, right? To have this freedom of choice of which economic currency we want to back. And well, if you have some sense, you will eventually end up at Bitcoin and hopefully stay. But well, that doesn't have to be necessarily the case. Right? So all the power to him. But just remember that he's speaking for himself, right? Not for the World Crypto. There is not such a thing as something speaking for the World Crypto Network, right? We're all individuals here who speak our own point of view, and always keep that in mind, right? And Tom and I not yet have fallen to the shitcoin trap. But let's see. Maybe in a couple blocks we will start shilling the Satoshi Vision fork of Bitcoin Gold that has merged mined now into the private Bitcoin thing and has 10 million extra mining things. That is much greater, much wow.
And let's slow down before we throw everyone out and we throw everyone under the bus. There's this idea going around where it's like, oh no, someone talked about an altcoin. They must be a sellout and a stooge, and we need to paint everyone who ever worked with them as bad people and tear down everything that they've ever built or made. That seems a little quick for me. Andy and Shem, I think these are both learning examples. I don't think that you guys are suckers enough that you watch one video about B rhodium and start tearing down all your Bitcoin posters and lighting your t-shirts on fire. You could do that if you want, if you're that easily led and you watch one video about Bitcoin SV and you give it all up or whatever it is. That's fine. That's your choice. I hope that you can think for yourself. And I hope that you have the strength to say, well, yeah, there was a video on there that I just didn't agree with. And I moved on and watched the other videos. That's what you need to do. And also, sometimes you can learn the most by watching someone you disagree with. When I talked to Andy about B rhodium, the argument that we really came down to is that open source software is not very important to Andy. That's the opposite for myself. I've read about Richard Stallman. I've read about Eric S. Raymond, the Cathedral and the Bazaar, all these kind of things, Linux. I'm not a Linux user every day, but, I am in all the embedded devices in the world and all the traffic lights and so on and so forth, where we find many Linux machines without even knowing it. And that's the point. That's the point of Linux. That's the point of open source software. That's the point of Bitcoin. In the future, as tough as it is, I hope to use Bitcoin without knowing that I'm using Bitcoin. I hope to not use a wallet. I hope to not use a QR code. I hope it just happens in the background and I just push buttons. And I do think we'll get there because everything else has become that way. It used to be very difficult to make an MP3. Now it's really easy to subscribe to Apple Music and have all the MP3s you want, or Spotify, or whatever you like. This has changed, and it's going to change even more in the next 10 years. So very excited for Bitcoin. I think we have a great opportunity to learn here, everywhere, other channels, on the Twitter, everywhere. And I think that we can learn from other people. We don't just have to throw them out and put them in the trash. So.
Absolutely. And that is an essential part of a learning process, right? The trivium. First, you accumulate information and you take that in neutrally from a wide collective array of sources. Don't just listen to one YouTube channel. Don't just read one newspaper. Right? That doesn't make sense. Accumulate a bunch of different sources of information and do that neutrally without any prejudgment. Then in the second step, you sit down and you try to understand it. That is an internal process. And you take what is good and what is truthful and you throw out all the nonsense bullshit. And once then you have understood something thoroughly and you discard the rest, which is untruthful and simply wrong. Then you apply yourself and act upon the true information that you have now understood, right? But this is a three-stepwise process. And that means, of course, also watch videos from multi-coiners, watch video from statists, watch videos from central bankers, watch video about gardening, right? It's not just economics, Bitcoin, finance, cryptography, that stuff. It is everything, right? The learning experience is holistic. And the question is, what sources do you take in? And then how do you understand them and act upon that?
I definitely think so. And if you go back to just thinking about movies, I often watch bad movies because how would I know what a good movie is if I didn't watch bad movies? And sometimes especially bad movies can make you appreciate a good movie or even a mediocre movie, like a movie with a plot and characters, as opposed to one that doesn't have that. So I think you got us on some good topics here, caller. Thanks so much, Gabriel, for calling in. What do you think? Yeah. Do you agree with what we've said here, or you ready to throw down the whole network? I don't know.
No, I'm still in Bitcoin for sure. I love Bitcoin. I think that people do get probably too tribal and they take things that people say maybe too personally. I do like that it is an adversarial system, and I like that everyone can have their own fork of Bitcoin if they want. It doesn't really make sense to me. I think everyone should just be on the same network, but I do like to follow people who have different opinions from me so that I can, hone my own opinions and say, okay, I don't agree with this statement that they said, and it helps me become a better Bitcoiner, I think.
I think so. And that's the way to go. Become a better Bitcoiner through discussion and debate and discourse. Thanks so much for the call.
To grow together.
But
All right, thank you. Call us anytime, Gabriel. Great to hear from you. And you can call us now on Skype at World Crypto Network or at 1-518-600-1949. Good call. Remember, we'll talk about anything. We're talking about the Bitcoin birthday today. We're talking about civility, discourse, debate, discussion, ideas, whether things are good and gossipy or whether things are better if we think about it with science. Can we have better debates? Can we elevate these debates? And more importantly, can we raise money for Max's fundraiser? What kind of tally coin have we got going on there, Max? Let's show the people that.
This year is a really cool tally coin. It is for the early access to a bunch of videos. So this is the blockchain, the boring on-chain ID or address. And the funding goal per month is 0.05 Bitcoin. Which is approximately $200. So come on, peeps. And that goes new every single month. In December, we did not make it, unfortunately. So close. But the cool thing is that here with Tallycoin, you can also, for example, get early access to, let's say, the Bitcoin Optech newsletter. Right. So this is a really amazing newsletter, and there's the audiobook available for all the episodes or all the 26. And then you unfortunately have to log in with Twitter, so I can't show you exactly how it works. But we just got a donation, which is cool, from, let's see, this address. Amazing. So thank you very much to 3BD5K for 0.0265 Bitcoin. That's, again, 2.6 million Satoshis, quite a couple Satoshis there. So that is fantastic. That got us to already 81% of this month's goal, which is fantastic. So thank you very much, Mapir. That was. Whoop, you could now get also early access to these videos. So that's just how awesome Tallycoin works.
And while we were covering all the dramatic topics in crypto today, we covered the civility issues on the other channel and the yelling and the debates and the lack of education going on by people who are educators, and that maybe they shouldn't debate if they can't debate properly. I had this great quote from Peter Todd here talking about CoinDesk. As Peter says, what the fuck happened to CoinDesk? I literally don't know who half these people even are. And it'd be nice to get a statement on whether or not the profits for this silly digital trading card thing are associated with it are going to them. It smells like a paid advertisement in disguise. And it was interesting to see here that the 10 most influential people in blockchain, an article by CoinDesk, actually turned out to be kind of a promotion, right? They created trading cards for each one of these people with or without their permission. Then they sold the trading cards for money and as well for advertising this digital trading card company. Interesting. I had that idea as well. And it's interesting to see CoinDesk kind of give up all of their journalistic integrity here because it's such an obvious promotion for whatever this trading card company is. And also, they've turned these newsmakers into products for Coinbase. So now Coinbase is selling, for example, a CZ Binance card. So in a way, they're supporting Coinbase. In a way, they're in a CoinDesk. They're supporting. They're interlinked with each other. It's a very questionable move. They have said that the profits or whatever from the sales is going to charity. So that slightly makes it better, but not really. It's still kind of a questionable journalistic thing to do. Because obviously you could turn everything into a trading card now. There's a flood. So we made a new trading card for the flood. And you can buy our flood trading card and support flood control and flood awareness. And that does sound like a nice idea. But at the same time, you've kind of commercialized everything. And what if you're writing an article about, bad people or stormtroopers or whatever, and you're like, oh, yeah, there's a stormtrooper card. You can support the stormtroopers right here. But we also made an anti-stormtroopers card. And what if the stormtroopers card outraises the anti-stormtrooper card? It seems like a real problem when you start selling items in your news stories. Maybe they could make trading cards to represent each paragraph of the article and see which paragraphs are the most popular. I don't know. Not a great move by CoinDesk. What do you think, Max? Is it on the normal? Am I overreacting here? Is it no big deal?
why is it that mainstream media always sucks? I mean, seriously, CoinDesk is as mainstream as any crypto blockchain outlet is going to be, and why are they so bad? I don't get it. It's crazy. Like, but the good thing is that we can curate our own sources of information, right? If you know after a while that this one source of information is a shit show, like Coinbase, not Coinbase, CoinDesk or Condesk, you could say the same. Well, then just don't no longer take in this information. Right? The information you take in is actually impacting you. And shit in, shit out, right? If you put a bad input into your computer, the code is going to fail and return a bad output. So you have to be, of course, selective with which information you take in after you have understood what the message that is being said, right? So now we should understand that by now.
And it is surprising.
Oh, no.
I think we're talking a lot about kind of what's happening with the mainstreaming of Bitcoin and the separation in the crypto podcast between the sensational and the yelling and the price focused and the charting and all that versus people that actually want to talk about the technology and the philosophy. In the same way we're seeing the newspapers kind of separate here, with Bitcoin Magazine going back to Bitcoin, CoinDesk continuing to lose their way and search for more money in the lowest common denominator and seeing if they found it yet. And it's funny because they don't really need this money. Obviously, they donated the things to charity. Maybe they took some money from the company as well, because why would they choose this crypto card company over that crypto card company, and so on and so forth. But it's interesting to see that there's just kind of no bottom to it. It's like a new way to sell, and we didn't really think about it. And anyone that reacts badly, people reacted badly both to how the people were chosen, if they're really influencers, if they're really the best that we have. They also reacted badly to the idea of removing the old influencers from the list. Lop, Andreas, Vitalik, people like this are no longer on the list because CoinDesk wants new people every year, which is a nice idea, but it also doesn't make it so you can compare the lists. So you can't say, well, Andreas was more popular in this year, or he was less popular in that year, because now it's just like he doesn't exist at all. So I don't know. It's a questionable article. It's good. It gives us something to talk about. Gets a little bit of that sensationalism going out there, which is good for us, good for them, whatever. But it is interesting, Max, like you say, that everything goes this way of yelling talking heads or promotional articles or making money for no reason. There's no end to it. It's interesting to say. They're saying in the chat, they say fake news, that it's funny, and it's like Disney media. They say Mushroom Toad is the real Toad, and General Byzantium hasn't read CoinDesk since 2016. So people are not fans of CoinDesk. They're questioning it. It doesn't seem very journalistic to me. What about the Bitcoin kid with his paws and his hodl? Cutting back to Max. Are you still with us, Max?
Oh yes, I am. And again, absolutely, it's that's just how it is with these outlets, that they will disclose bad information. And again, you have to discard it yourself if it is not of value to you. So it's your choice which information you take in. And if you want to read the Bitcoin mailing list, read the Bitcoin mailing list. And if you want to have it curated, read the Optech newsletter. If you want to know what's happening in Lightning, go on Twitter or go on the Slack. And the Slack is crazy for the Lightning L&D community. And there are a wide collective array of sources, and you choose whichever you want to listen to, right? You can curate that yourself. And I very much would prefer a true peer-to-peer, or well, kind of peer-to-peer, but the podcast network, right? And there are a bunch of amazing authors. For example, of course, the World Crypto Network, shameless shill, but then also Tales from the Crypt, or the nodl podcast, or the Stefan Livera show, or Ansel Lindner's Bitcoin and Markets, which, by the way, I did a recording shilling Tallycoin really hard, and why the deplatforming of Patreon sucks. And that will be released hopefully soon. But there are a bunch of other amazing sources of information that you can go out and accumulate. So it's up to you. But, well, I just think that I'm always surprised on how bad the mainstream media gets. So it's quite interesting.
And it looks like we have a very special guest for our 10th anniversary of Bitcoin show. It looks like we're joined by Dan, the crypto raptor, one of the stars of the Happy Birthday Bitcoin A Million Dreams video that we played earlier today. Dan, how's it going? Seems like you're in a car there. Say hello.
I am sorry. I was trying to mute in and out. I'm fully hands free. I'm fully ninjaed up, so it's all good. It's all safe. Yeah, I thought I'd have a quick gate crash. I'm just on my way to a 10th birthday party in Bristol for anyone that's in the UK and relatively local. And so it's going to be just a bit of a party up in here. Yeah, I'm really kind of proud of the proof of cheese that we had today there with the cheesy Million Dreams song. It looked really cool. Samson done a great job of editing it, and Jane and Ellie have done a really good job for organising it and everything, and obviously Samson as well. Yeah, it's exciting times. Exciting times.
And we have just a little bit of the video. Here's Dan singing. Here it is.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
I think. See, I can see what you're saying yesterday, Dan. I think you got off really well with the singing, but then you made a funny face. So it's hard to win. I think the real pros, looking at Naomi and maybe Jimmy and some of the other people on there, they shot it separately and recorded the audio separately. Then they somehow lip synced and joined it all together. Real advanced work there. Kind of put us to shame.
It's a great little effort though from everyone. It's really cheesy but really cool. That it's another community thing that's cool about Bitcoin is people coming together and contributing to something that may not even have an amazing value other than just entertainment. But slightly educational. But I suppose in terms of people seeing who's out there in the crypto world. But yeah, I think it's a cool thing. It's just one of the cool kind of content creation things that Bitcoin is and crypto community is fantastic for.
And it was fun. I sang a little, not very well. Other people sang a little, maybe a little worse than me. So it's good to have people better and people worse than you in a video like that. Makes it all right. Fun stuff. But yeah, we played more of that earlier. People in the chat are just joining us now. So maybe we'll play a little bit more of that. Drive them crazy with this gay song, as they're calling it. Let's see.
On a rainy day, they can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds.
I don't care, they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we desire.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it now. Share your dreams with me.
You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you bring me along to the warrior sea.
Thomas, the chat is crying. Their ears are bleeding.
Eyes to see, I close my eyes to see.
Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me awake.
A million dreams.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take.
A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
For the world we're gonna make.
Oh, pretty cool. Obviously, Mir and Giacomo stealing the show there with the harmony, man, really coming through. The people in the chat are dying. They say that we can call you crazy now. Crypto Daddy's getting sick. Other people are unplugging their headphones. They can't take it anymore. They're burning out their ears. There's a little bit of Jimmy. We might have started in the middle there. You didn't get to see Jimmy. You can rewind. He was singing at the opera house there in Sydney. It was pretty cool. Also, shout out to all the people who might have gotten cut from the video that are here in the outtakes. Good stuff. Everyone contributing. Good stuff by Samson Mao, Miss Bitcoin Mai. Crypto Raptor had the other names there. Very cool stuff. Fun to be involved. What'd you think, Dan? Get your reaction.
I think it's cool. I mean, I'm not going to lie, my ears are bleeding, and I'm sure that you'll attest to the fact that it was starting to get annoying even when I was practicing in Malta and you were mocking me. But I finally convinced you to get on board.
And we do still have the Tallycoin fundraiser. We got a little bit closer to bringing Mad Bitcoins back. I've also offered that I will play my entire horrible version of me singing this thing. Here's a bit of it muted right now. Imagine how bad this would be if you donate right now on the Tallycoin. You will get to see the entire version of me doing the song because, yeah, like Dan was saying, he was working on recording his part, and I got so bored I recorded my own version of the song. And I haven't even seen this movie. I don't know what it's about. It's a very hard song to sing. I don't think that any part of it is easy. So anyone that came off looking good in that video, kudos to you. You did it. This song has multiple people singing it. It starts out with a little kid version, then it has an older version like Hugh Jackman, then it has a female voice as well. So a lot of mismatches here, some tough singing, and I don't, every time I watch mine, I feel it gets worse. Oh well.
But seriously, is the World Crypto Network going to be as a musical channel soon? I mean, that is fascinating, right? Because here we have in the nodl, which by the way has a new webpage, and orders are back up. So if you want to have your financial sovereignty, come and take it. But we have here, it's the hippest node. Why? Because the nodl has its own theme song, and by whom? Well, you can go all the way down there and check out the nodl song by the one and only Crypto Raptor. So Thomas, if you could play that so the audience can hear it, would be fantastic because it's a damn good song.
It went away.
You inspired me, Max. When I was as I was ordering mine, I thought I need to do something special, because I was just really excited about this piece of kit, and I felt kind of lazy. I could have probably Max. When as I was ordering mine, I thought. I was going to say, yeah, I've set up master nodes before, but I've never set up a Bitcoin full node or Lightning node, and I felt terrible, and I thought I had to do it with a bang. So how better than to buy one of 21 limited edition nodl boxes and Raptor it as well.
All right, I thought we had the link to the nodl, but I'm not seeing it. Here we go. We got another link. Okay, let's see. This time for sure. Oh yeah, I remember this. It won't play. My box won't play videos from here, though. There's some kind of flash issue. We did this before. At least we're filling all the screens with Dan's face.
Oh God, I can't see them, so I can only imagine.
Oh yeah, it's all
spare them. You've made their ears burn. Don't make their eyes burn too, please.
Well, yes, we unfortunately can't play the nodl song right now. Do you have a YouTube link for that? We could bring that up.
It's not on YouTube, but I'll give it a best shot trying to remember all the lyrics now, and I'll just try and puff it out. Okay, here we go. Forgive me if I get it wrong. Just check out like Twitter or something. Excuse me, peeps, I don't want to cause alarm, but you're missing monetary liberty in your palm. Bitcoin Lightning, full nodes on an arm. Support the network, run a node, not a farm. I got a nodl black box direct from Model It. So there's only 21 and I'm going to hodl it. Plug and play setup, anyone could doddle it. On arrival, tweet unboxing, I might even model it. Not just a Node, a BTC Pay server, Bitcoin payment processing, and a networking observer, upgradable, expandable, a trustless preserver via pillar for the network whilst you feed your Bitcoin further. I got 1 of 21 right before it hit the flocks. Get involved and run the node and start verifying blocks. Not just miners stop attackers. Nodes also help out Fox, and the hodl is a doddle with a nodl it back box. Bitcoin Corner also allowed, not just yet. Too technical, then try nodl cloud. You'll also get financial self-sovereignty, the banks you can forget. Before I go, please check the video on @WorldCryptoNet.
Whoa! Yay! Pretty good from memory, Dan. We're looking at the lyrics here. Max has pulled them up on the screen. We've got the nodal rap. We've got the people complaining in chat. They're burning it all down. They hate everything. But like you guys said, we have a whole musical thing going here on the World Crypto Network. Maybe this is a good time to play some of the mad trilogy of scaling parodies from last year. You guys might not understand any of these. Maybe I should just skip to the third one. I'll give you the kindness. I'll skip to the third one, but you should check out these other two. So the first one is from the movie Network. You've meddled with the primal forces of Bitcoin. Obviously going to be the big corporation speech. The second one is from Miller's Crossing. If you can't trust a fixed Bitcoin, what can you trust? Most people haven't seen Miller's Crossing, a Coen Brothers classic, but you should check that out. And the last one is from the Bill Murray classic, Scrooged. This is the end of Scrooged. It's the scene with Bobcat Goldthwait, and they take over the television station, and there's more horrible singing. So people are running to the exits, but feel free to give us a thumbs up and a share. And we're going to just play a little bit of last year's Christmas video. That's Roger Ver. He's not meant to be on. This is Mad Bitcoins. What in the... Happy Satoshi's Day, Maddie. How are things up there? Open up his mic. Wonderful. But I don't think you'll be the president of Bitcoin Unlimited tomorrow. At least I'm the Bitcoin president tonight. Tomorrow I may not be. You can bet your ass on that. What are we doing arguing about Bitcoin scaling on Satoshi's birthday? We're trying to save Bitcoin. What sort of person would schedule a hard fork on Satoshi's birthday? Only you, Roger. A week ago, I'd have kicked your butt right out of here. But he's absolutely right. You're looking at a guy who told someone today to staple antlers to a mouse's head to stop SegWit. How many of you would try something like that? Stay on him. All these people have incredible mining farms. But look at this guy, getting 30% more. Isn't he cute? Anyway, those days are over now. The SS Minnow, Jihan. What ship took them all to Gilligan's Island? The SS Minnow. No points this round, Jihan. Wait a minute. How did he know? Hello, Maddie. Mad Bitcoins, control room. How could I help you? It's Jihan. I'd like to talk to the idiot who put that moron on the air. Ah, it's YouTube, sir. But he can't talk to you right now. He's tied up. You're a flatulent Coinbase. A Coinbase? He's never liked a blockchain quite the way he likes you. What are you talking about? Deck the halls with blocks of Bitcoin. Fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season for Satoshi. Fa la 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 la. We should be taping this. How did that happen? How did that happen? It happens because it's Satoshi's birthday. I'm not crazy. It's Satoshi's birthday. It's the one night when we're all act a little nicer, when we all troll a little softer, when we all support Bitcoin and unify together. For a couple of hours, we are the Bitcoiners we hoped we would be. It's really a miracle because it happens every Satoshi's Day. And if you waste that miracle, you're going to burn for it. I know. You have to do something. You have to take a chance and get involved in Bitcoin. We all make mistakes. We all get confused. But it's time to welcome those people back. Take an old blockchain out or pseudo make them a sandwich and say, go to. I get it now. I get it. And if you get Bitcoin, then it can happen. The Bitcoin Unity miracle can happen to you. Not just large and small blockers. Everyone's got to have the miracle of Bitcoin. It can happen tonight for you all. If you believe in Bitcoin, the Bitcoin miracle will happen, and you'll want Bitcoin again tomorrow. You won't be one of these bastards who says Bitcoin's a Ponzi and it's a fraud. It's not. Bitcoin is real, and it can happen every day, and we can unify. You've just got to want that feeling. You've got to want Bitcoin every day. Bitcoin can happen to you. I believe in Bitcoin unity now, and it's great. It's a good feeling. We're going to unify, and I'm happy. It's better than I felt in a long time, and I'm ready. Have a happy Bitcoin unity, everybody. We almost had a war. Isn't it better not to? Let's all work together for peace, love, and understanding, and movie parodies. Roger, did I forget something? Mad Bitcoins. Thank you, Satoshi Nakamoto. Everyone, trust in Bitcoin and unify. Think of Bitcoin again. Don't be some forking friend. Put a little coin in your heart. You'll see SegWit is great, so please don't hesitate. Put a little coin in your heart. Put a little coin in your heart. And Bitcoin will scale a better place, and the box will be less full. It's great for you and me. Just wait and see. Mad Bitcoins. King of Bitcoins. Yay! Okay, so
That was beautiful.
And Pierce, that's why the world
half of Max. There's still some Max out there. What'd you say, Max? Try it again.
That the World Crypto, that they are amazing. The World Crypto Network archives, they are amazing.
It is, yeah. We've got lots of videos like that out there in the archive. Somewhere we've got the old Christmas video. I used to do the night of Saint Satoshi visiting and so on and so forth. A lot of great stuff. We also played part of Genesis block by Crypto Night. We're not going to play the Chipmunks part again, but maybe we'll play just a little bit more for anyone that missed it here with the old Genesis block.
That's when the first one was mine. We were all dead slaves to the financial elite. Wall Street fraudsters got golden parachutes. We had no way to fight that. The Genesis block came along. Now it's us who find ourselves on the attack. Genesis, Genesis, Genesis block. That's when Bitcoin was born. It's how the great simulation blast of Bitcoin. Thank you, Satoshi. Thanks for the Genesis. Thank the Genesis block.
Yeah. Great stuff from Crypto Night there. Just a little bit of Genesis block, and I changed to my Bitcoin sweatshirt. It says Satoshi on the back in Japanese, but you knew that already. So having a great time playing the old videos here. Makes me want to check in with one we made not too long ago. It's Dan and I's favorite video, Lifestyles of the Rich and Blockchain. I'm going to have to try to bring that up here, going back into the World Crypto Network. We have so many great videos recently. Check out Max's series here about Bitcoin OpTech. We also have a series about the Wasabi wallet, and all of the interviews from the Malta convention are now live. You can watch them all right here on the World Crypto Network, all for free. Subscribe down below, and we're going to see if we can find this for you. It was a little while ago. Lifestyles of the Rich and Blockchain. Theme song by our very own Crypto Raptor, who's joining us now. Boy, it was a long time ago. It's not. There it is. There it is. I found it. Didn't get away. Lifestyles.
I'm told we have
and blockchain.
Lifestyles of the rich and blockchain. Your loss is their gain. They're always blockchaining. If databases are such a problem, well, they got a token, and we're gonna solve them. Yeah.
Good morning, Bitcoin. We're live from the Malta Blockchain Summit in Malta. As you can see down below, we have part of the main exhibition floor where thousands of exhibitors are waiting to sell you hundreds of ICOs. Literally everything from blockchain to yacht chain to sock chain. It's all available on the chain here in Malta. Good morning, Bitcoin. We're live from the Malta Blockchain Summit, joined by Baron Dan, the Crypto Raptor. How's it going, Dan? Any word on those new sponsorships?
It's totally fantastic. I mean, we've raised 52 million in 2 days. We raised 50 million on the first day and decided to just go to the beach instead.
It's so much easier to raise money when you're at the beach. People can just keep donating, and we just keep printing the tokens, and they just keep donating. It's been fantastic.
It has been fantastic. And whilst we were there, we got also some funding for Yacht Chain, which is a perfectly fine yacht chain, a chain for your yachts on the blockchain. So we called it the Yacht Chain. And
a lot of Bitcoin people and blockchain people, especially Ethereum people, they have this problem. You have too many yachts. I just have so many boats in so many countries. I can barely keep track of them. Sometimes, one time, I hate to tell you, but the servants ran off with the yacht for more than 3 weeks, and I had no idea where that boat was. How will Yacht Chain solve my problems?
Well, the specific type of chain that's used for Yacht Chain is heavy. It's a strong chain. Some say it's the best chain. And
it's made out of metal.
It's made out of metal, and it keeps the yachts together. And that way they can't be stolen. They can't be stolen by servants. They can't be stolen by the captain.
And if I have 2 yachts, say, in a different harbor, one in London, one in Malta, could you use a longer chain to connect the 2?
Oh, our chains are the longest in the world. That's why we receive so much funding and so quickly.
So it's the longest chain, it's the heaviest chain, and it solves all your yacht-related problems. It's Yacht Chain. Where can people learn more about Yacht Chain?
If they go to yachtchain.com and check out our fundraising page, they can give us more money.
Oh, I've just received a notice on my watch. We raised $3 more million. We're up to $55 million for Yacht Chain. Thank you so much for donating. Be sure to follow the links in the description below.
Yachtchain.com.
Blockchain.
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 All right.
I think the music stopped. Not entirely sure. But Dan, do you have any other amazing songs planned for 2019?
Well, I've been motivated to finish one that it was a bit of a spoof song, probably a bit of a bone of contention with a few people, but it's called the Verth song, and it's all about the Earth song, but in the theme of Roger Ver, talking about how probably we could have saved a few more babies' lives if we had things his way.
Oh yeah, so many more babies.
Verth song.
And all these babies could become future rappers. So, Crypto Rapper, how could you?
Well, the thing is, you've got to inspire these people, and I was only inspired by the people that rapped and sung and stuff before me. And there's Zhao Tong, is obviously one of the biggest, but there's been some really incredible talent, and I'm just happy to kind of, write random songs and kind of little ditties here and there, and add a bit of spice to crypto, because I love the content creation. It's just the coolest thing. The memes, the GIFs, the art. It's all just incredible. I love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The memes in Bitcoin are strong, right? And this is really how we do consensus, right? It is much more of a persuasion rather than a coercion. And this means that you have to bring solid and good arguments and package them in a nice and approachable way. And that is, of course, memes are perfect for that. I mean, look at crypto Twitter. Look at Bitcoin Twitter. It's phenomenal. There's a lot of good content happening, right? You really get educated about all that. But you also have amazing fun stuff, right? Like, for example, your video popping up here and you just explaining to the peeps how important it is to run their own Bitcoin full node. Right? That is phenomenal. There's a bunch of other stuff like that here happening. And it's beautiful. It's the art of Bitcoin.
that was the kind of aim of it. You know, it was just I didn't know. Not gonna lie, I didn't know much about kind of Lightning. I was a bit kind of ignorant to a lot of it as well. Yeah, the technical, the technicalities of it, and the fact that I could have probably, if I'd done a bit of extra learning, sort of learned how to do it. But for those people that aren't familiar with Linux or Windows and coding and running a few command lines and stuff, things like the nodl box are perfect. But these products like these, Keto Miner probably hasn't got a huge marketing budget, if at all. So I just do what I can to kind of promote the cool things that other people might like too. And being running a node it just really makes you feel like a contributor. I don't write code, but if I run a node, then I feel like I'm contributing to the network. And it means that other people that run a nodl box or a Casa Lightning node, they're contributing, and they can do so in literally just a few clicks. And that's what's cool about it.
Oh yes, absolutely, right? And having, for example, the nodl, but it could be any other node, is a tool to help you claim your sovereignty in the financial sense. And it's super useful for Bitcoin, of course, but even more so for the Lightning Network, right? Because you have to be always on. You have to have a dedicated device. And the nodl is really cool for that, right? And by the way, Piers, there is a new nodl shop. So you can get a bunch of stuff now, launched today on January 3rd. You can get the regular nodl, which Dan and I have, which is amazing, but it has quote unquote only a 500 gigabyte SD. There's a 1 terabyte version now as well, $100 extra. That's nice. And there's stickers, because what would Bitcoin be without stickers? Boring, very boring. So you can get the nodl stickers. And really, really cool, again, special treat for the Genesis block anniversary, is you can get a 5-pack of the Genesis stickers that have this image right here, just a hash of the Bitcoin Genesis block, and you can get a 5-pack for just $4, which is phenomenal, and of course only payable with the Lightning Network. Which, by the way, the entire shop here is self-hosted on the nodl running BTC Pay server. So this is a live example of what you could use your nodl for. Run your own Lightning Network-powered, Bitcoin-powered online store and sell all the amazing stuff of BTC Pay in the backend. It's beautiful. Like, Lightning is here, Bitcoin is here, and now use these tools and buy some stickers. Damn it.
Buy some stickers on nodl, and you can hodl your nodl with nodl and hodl. Good stuff, guys. I was checking out the old Twitter account. Had some pretty cool images go by, like this one. It's called Satoshi's Gift, or Viris in Numbers. Check that out. Very interesting artwork. The guy said he also made this artwork, had it commissioned because he was inspired by people who'd inspired him on Twitter and Facebook and so on and so forth. He says, the digital goddess is freed from her shackles with the creation and adoption of Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto's game theoretic and cryptographic genius has digitized the immutability and scarcity of gold, as depicted by her golden raiments resolving into digital bills. The coin is offered like the fire of Prometheus. Check out Satoshi's Gift. We have the image on the screen for the people watching on YouTube. We're describing it for the podcast audience. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. While I mentioned the podcast, did you know the World Crypto Network has its own podcast? You can listen to these episodes every day, converted into audio right there on iTunes or wherever you listen to audio podcasts. Check it out. I think we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're on the Megaphone network now. They're supposed to be inserting advertisements, maybe even Audible and the New York Times and big advertisers like that. How fun would it be? Be sure to subscribe to the World Crypto Network podcast and leave us a review. We've got, last time we had 55 ratings. Now we have 56 ratings. 4 stars. Thanks so much for your support. Check out the World Crypto Network podcast. Let's see what's going on else today. We read a little bit of the white paper. We showed you the price in Satoshis. It's around 26,000 Satoshis for $1. It's the 10th birthday of Bitcoin, the launching of the mainnet. the actual launch of the software. We're fundraising on Tallycoin. We had a great donation. Thanks so much for your support. 23 Uvos has got an extra desktop running his Bitcoin node and a Lightning node thanks to Pierre's node launcher. So get yourself a node. People are saying they want to buy a Casa or a nodl. Casa is a pretty big company. Nodl's a couple of guys working on it, but they're both working on the same idea, and it's very cool to see them spreading the word and spreading the Bitcoin. General Byzantian says we need the solid Bitcoin dancers. We need them to roll in right now. Certainly, I felt that very much being in Vegas now. Went to a show last night called Raiding the Rock Vault, and it was all these guys who used to play in bands in the 60s and 70s, and the drummer from Slaughter. And halfway through the show, dancing girls come out because this is Vegas. So we don't have any dancing girls, but we can show you this CryptoPop.net graphic. It's pretty fun. We can also check in with everything else that's been going on today. Max, did we get any Lightning? Did it happen on the Lightning donation front?
Well, let's see. Not yet, but maybe let's pull up here a new invoice and let's see. Maybe we can make it happen this time. So, peeps, let's see how Tallycoin is working live and on mainnet. And oh, it's the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin price is back down, back to 2,613 satoshis. So now, if you would send a couple satoshis now, that would be. Because I will get a couple more satoshis, which is always nice. So let's see. Maybe we get one during the show. We never know. We never know. But that's the cool thing with Tallycoin, is that it is actually happening. It is actually possible, and you can easily raise Lightning funds here on Tallycoin. Oh, and there we have it. There we have it. Oh, and it's gone. But you saw it. It made pictures, it made green things, fireworks and everything. So thanks to the anonymous peer for throwing me 2016 satoshis, or 2,613 satoshis. Quite a couple satoshis. So I would be curious to see how high the routing fee was for that payment, because that's always funny to see how ridiculously cheap these ridiculously fast Lightning payments are.
There we go. We've got a new year, and we've had our first Lightning payment right here on Tallycoin with the World Crypto Network. Very cool. Max, what did you have to do to set up Lightning on Tallycoin? Was it very difficult?
No, actually not at all. At this moment, it works only with custodial services. For example, OpenNode or the Spark, the Spark payment processor. These are custodial wallets where you do not have the private keys or hash pre-images necessary for routing. But this is mainly first and foremost a convenience thing, because not too many people are running their own Lightning node yet. And also a priorities thing, because it's only DJ Booth developing it, and he just didn't get around on connecting your own node yet, but this will come. And it's super easy. You log in similarly to Coinbase with a could be fake email address and your username and password. And then OpenNode does all the channel management, all the inbound capacity and everything for you, which is really useful. So you then just go into your profile page on OpenNode or on the Spark wallet, and you copy the API call to the admin page here on Tallycoin. And then that's it. This is all you have to do to get Lightning donations. Open a custodial wallet account. Of course, your keys, your Bitcoin, right? But that is just the most easy integration. Literally copy and paste the API key to the Tallycoin admin page. And that's it. You can now receive Lightning donations. And it is as easy. Well, no, let's try maybe getting a couple more cents than
It's funny, Max's microphone works so good and then it just stops working.
Oh, it's a software issue. It's ridiculous.
Software issue. I think I called that. I'm gonna have to go back and open my envelope. This envelope has been hermetically sealed. Yes, that's right, hermetically sealed in an envelope it's in a jar, a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Wagnall's porch. Here we go. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. What you say when you have a software issue. Panama. I don't know. But yeah. No,
General Byzantine says in the chat it was a software issue. So yep, Roger came into my laptop and he slapped it, and he tried to save a couple of babies with it, but it increased the block size, and now I got software issues. Horrible.
But looks like we're rounding the 2-hour mark, probably going to head towards the end of this show. Just want to thank everyone for watching and donating. We had some donations here on Tallycoin. Thanks so much. You can scan this QR code. You can donate even after the show's over. Max had a donation on the Lightning Network. That's very cool. You can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/madbitcoins or patreon.com/WCN. We've had a bit of a downturn in Patreon. Every time they run the credit cards at the beginning of the month, you end up having less patrons. So please subscribe to our Patreon. We have 47 patrons who donate $290 a month to help support this show. Check out Max's Tallycoin link in the chat. Subscribe to the podcast. The price of Bitcoin is $3,783. We're joined by Dan, the Crypto Raptor from the road. I hope you're not driving the car. Now I'm terrified. I think you are. Previously, I thought you weren't because you're on the wrong side of the road. Crazy British person.
Oh no! Unfortunately, I'm all hooked up on Bluetooth and hands free. My phone's actually out of my reach, which is good.
All right. Well, say goodbye to the people, Dan. I think we're heading towards the end of the show. 10th anniversary for Bitcoin. One more time.
It's been incredible, guys. 10 years, and I've only been here for a small portion of it. And yeah, still learning, still developing, and I just can't wait to see what 2019 holds with Lightning capacity increasing, nearly at 550 Bitcoin. Nodes nearly, I think 2,300 at the moment. Yeah, it's not just Lightning, the side chains. There's so much coming, and it's going to be a great year for Bitcoin, I think.
All right, and Max, some closing words for the first show or second show of the new year.
Well, 2019-18 was fantastic. The last 10 years in general have been breathtaking for Bitcoin. And although we have only experienced some of it in person, there are archives like the WCN or the mailing lists or whatsoever that can show you the history of Bitcoin from a first account basis, which is why Bitcoin is so beautiful, the open source aspect to it. And so the 10 years have been breathtaking. I've experienced 3 of these years, and I love every second of it. And I'm continuing loving to spend more time and attention here accumulating this information of Bitcoin, sound money, and liberty, and spreading it with you, the peers of the World Crypto Network. So thank you very much for partaking here in this ride, and let's make the next 10 years even better than the first 10 years were. And let's bring sound money and liberty in our lifetime to the entire planet. Hell yeah.
I think so. And it's been an amazing 10 years of Bitcoin. We went from a joke project that people called tulips and garbage. We became drug money and everyone thought we were into the Silk Road. Then we became, oh, you must have gotten rich. And then we became, oh, you must have gotten poor. So we've went through a lot of great emotions, a lot of ups and downs in Bitcoin. Just want to remind everyone who's still out there hodling, if you don't feel well, if you're over invested, get some help, maybe sell a little bit. For everybody on the way up next time, we're going to take more profits. We're going to do better. We keep learning from this thing. I certainly watched it go up to 1,200, didn't sell any. Watched it go up to 18,000 this time, sold a little bit. So getting better, but certainly not enough, and so on and so forth. But they all believe that it could just scroll all the way back up. We could see a run 40,000, 60,000, but it's not about the price. It's about the technology. It's about the ability to send value without a middleman. This is an impossible idea. This is a ridiculous idea. The fact that it's continued for 10 years and that this software is still secure without being supported by a company, without having a marketing department, without having programmers and coders and all the people that you need to pay to work on a project like this, everyone's volunteered. Some people have gotten paid. Some companies have supported Bitcoin development, but in general, it's volunteers. It's people who believe in Bitcoin, believe in this idea of sending value around without a third party. And previously it was impossible. We couldn't have done this with tulips. We couldn't have done this with seashells or dollar coins or paper dollars or any of these other options we've tried. This is the first time that mankind has ever switched over to a digital currency. Nobody knows how it's going to turn out, but in general, we know the network effects and we know how things have turned out in the past. Facebook, MySpace, internet, AOL, MP3s, online in general, iPhones. These things get adopted far faster than we can think, and the consequences, both good and bad, we have to deal with whether we like them or not. It wasn't my choice to make musicians stop selling albums and have to go on tour and sell t-shirts, but that's how things are now. So just in that way, music and MP3 were changed by the internet, streaming video changed movies, and now we're going to see how the Bitcoin changes banking and credit forever. So it's been an amazing first 10 years. Let's do another 10 years right here on the World Crypto Network. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. Subscribe down below. Follow us on Twitter at World Crypto Network or at Mad Bitcoins for me. We've been doing this since 2013. We're going to have the World Crypto Network birthday in about a month here in 2019. That's going to be our 5th birthday at the World Crypto Network, and we're going to have the 6th birthday for Mad Bitcoins in April, maybe even a birthday for me in May. We're going to work on a lot of new things in this new year. We might be doing more sponsorships, more advertising, more supporting of the channel, but that will also mean more traveling, more interviews, and more content because we want to keep bringing it to you like we have for these past 5 years and for these past 6 years. So thanks so much to everyone who donated, gives us a thumbs up and a share, subscribes, comments, chats. You make it all worthwhile. We're all equal in this. We're all leveling the playing field together, and we all get to be a part of Bitcoin. So ask not what Bitcoin can do for you. Ask what you can do for Bitcoin. There's a job for you out there. You're the one you've been waiting for. Like the Cowardly Lion and all those people said, you have to look inside you and find the courage there. And you're the one. You're the change you want to see in the world. So enough cliches and so on and so forth. It's a new year. It's 2019. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Pierce. See you on the next 10-year ride.